In 1970, the world watched as people from the small Waikato town of Matamata united in an effort to save the kaimai tunnellers trapped below after a cave-in. It was an amazing effort by a lot of people, many of them unsung heroes. This week, it's 28 years since the cave-in.
1970, and the first excavations of the tunnel that will cut through the Kaimai Ranges, providing a direct rail link to Tauranga. It's a boom for the local town Matamata, but a boom of another kind would create a tragedy that was watched closely by the world. Gordon Mcleay was a survivor of the horror that was the Kaimai tunnel collapse.
Well, we were working on the face, we had a bit of a fall there. And it was getting late, we knew it was smoker time, they'd be waiting for us. And then there was a yell. And there was quite a bit of a commotion, and I think it was Lynn Grayson. We seen him coming along and he was running along the planks and he got spreaders and he was bent down underneath. And as he left one plank, it would disappear behind him. He got to us, and then there was like an explosion, like jelly going off. And we seen some others run in, but only he got to us.
It was Tuesday.
Franklin Ain was the first aid officer.
And I was sitting in the smoker room having smoko when one of the workers came in and said that the cave-in had occurred, and I was to take the ambulance down to the portal.
We thought, well, we're on overtime now. Yeah, so, and then it sort of went bang again, and yeah, we knew we were in trouble.
The first impression was one of complete surprise, because the whole portal had collapsed, the whole area was closed up.
Above ground, the rescue to uncover the 11 trapped men has begun. 30 metres below, they're counting the dead. They hope it's only 4, but they're not sure.
Well, we knew Alf was dead, and we'd seen someone else running towards us. We didn't know whether it was Alf and William or the other two. But I think in our own minds, you know, we knew there wasn't much hope for them. Once we started digging in to get Willie, and we come against Alf's legs, you know, and we got Alf's hat first. We knew whose hat it was, and we were talking, we couldn't get an answer from him. And we went in a bit further and found him, and then Willie hard up against him. No, I don't think any of us inside had much hope for the others.
Rescuers work night and day. A shaft is driven through the collapsed portal to provide access to the men below. The motivation to keep going for the trapped men makes Peanut chuckle today, 28 years later.
Before I went to work that day, I think it was my eldest boy, he's fighting with his sister, so I give him a smack. He wouldn't stop. And I thought, oh, that's all he remembered. My old man. Last thing I knew about him, he belted me bum or something, you know, and I felt something terrible about that.
A telephone link is established through the shaft, and medicine and food is dropped down the chute. Below ground, the men battle to keep their mate Hugh Neely alive as he lies trapped under rubble.
He was in danger of drowning. If we couldn't have got his leg free, we'd have had to do something drastic, or otherwise he had to drown. The water was lapping in his mouth again. We couldn't stretch him any further, and we tried crowbars. I stuck the crowbar in his leg once, and he wasn't too happy about that. But we were trying to do everything by feel, you know, because the water was rising all the time. It was quite cold. We got Huey out first, and once we got his leg free, we strapped him on a couple of planks, and all we had was air hose. And I got up on the top drive and I pulled in, and they let him go, and the air hose would stretch, and he went and hit his leg again, and he was a very happy man. Yeah, so then we got into Willie, and by that time they drilled about a 6-inch hole down to us, and they gave us morphine and that. And since I was the one that was in the army, I ended up giving Hugh his one, and when we got to Willie, all we could see was his bum, you see. And I said to Willie, oh, we'll give you an injection for the pain. Here, who's going to give it? And I said, me. And then he started to moan, he didn't want it. And we found out later he'd been to a farm and a cow had milk fever. And the guy had given the cow in the injection and fell over dead, and he didn't want to die. He wouldn't. And all that time he was in terrible pain. He just wouldn't have an injection.
Volunteers from the district rally to help as hours stretch into days. Ed and Elaine helped organise the food for the rescue effort.
The men used to ask the men in the tunnel what they would like, and we used to try and do what they wanted. And then we'd put it into bonbons. We'd put chips and steak was the main food they had.
They put it in one of those big thermos, wrapped it in a sock and lowered it down to us. So we had some good meals, plenty of cigarettes, and they had odd beer or whiskey there. Not supposed to, but we had it. I suppose they thought, oh, well, you deserved it.
We sent little messages down. We used to put messages in with our meat, our bonbons, we call them, food bonbons, and we put messages in them, and they sent messages back, you know. Food was marvellous, the best we ever tasted, and all things like that.
Rescuers and family and friends keep up around the clock vigil, but below the men are starting to feel the effects of their 80 hours entrapped in their black tomb.
You know, your hands go wrinkled if you're in the bath too long. Our feet were like that. And even walking in the gumboots, it was quite sore, you know. So what we did, we got light bulbs and put down our gumboots and to dry them out and to keep us warm too, you know. We had light bulbs. We put all the light bulbs as close to us as we could, you know. My dad, he went there on the first day of the cave-in, and he never left until I got out.
Before they came out of the tunnel, they asked for asked for a razor and a shaving gear and a mirror, and I thought that was very hilarious. That was really great, to think that they would do that. They didn't want to come out unshaven. I thought that was wonderful. When the first person came out, everybody was silent. It was all lit up and everything was at night. And it was all lit up and bright, you know. And you could have heard a pin drop, you know. Because everybody cried, I cried, everybody cried to see these people come out. It was really wonderful.
And my mate was up the top of Mcleay, and he comes from Te Kaha, he's about 18 stone. And I don't think my feet touched the rope ladder. He just pulled me up hand over hand here, and then give me a hit on the back that just about broke me back when I got out here. And that was great, yeah. Well, that's when you sort of lean back and smelt the air, you know, and these scientists, they don't know what they're talking about when they say there's no smell to fresh air and taste. This is a beautiful taste here. Yeah, I think you've got to be in a lot of stale air to really appreciate it. And once they got us out, they whipped us away in the ambulance to the hospital, you see. Of course, we had to go and have a shower, and they ran away with all our clothes. So we in PJs, and we thought, well, that's all right. And they turned the lights halfway off to the pub. They come round and give us all a tablet, and we wake up at 9 o'clock next morning, they knocked us out here. So we didn't quite get to do what we wanted to do anyway. We went through something together that you only do once in a lifetime, when you don't want to do it twice, you know. You go through something and, yeah, I think it changed all our lives.
The communication systems and rescue techniques were a lot less sophisticated then than they are now. Some men and women worked 70-odd hours in a row without rest, supporting the mighty rescue effort. When we come back, a child in a gorilla enclosure and a lucky escape for a couple of firemen.